Alright, so this is the second tape, but welcome to the very first second tape of Kinetic Chats. That first tape.
The inaugural March edition.
Inaugural, yeah.
Inaugural March edition.
Inaugural monthly.
Inaugural monthly, there we go.
So the goal for Kinetic Chats, just for all our loyal viewers, is that we're going to all things martial arts in Australia, but martial arts running our club business. We're not going to be talking about who is the latest UFC champion or who has tapped Gordon Ryan or not got tapped by Gordon Ryan. We're going to be talking just about running our club. We're going to do this, I haven't seen this done before, but we're going to do this monthly. So we're going to do a chat on the month of March. And then hopefully in April we'll get together again. We'll do a chat on the month of April and we'll work it that way. Does that work for you, John?
So, I missed a memo on bringing any form of laptop, diary, book, pen. I didn't even bring my own glass of water. Yeah, let's just write that over in here. Thanks,
I like the laptop.
Yeah, it makes me look professional.
It looks very professional. Looks impressive. You want to use a pen?
Yeah, there we go. All right, good enough. Okay.
All right, so we've got 2 or 3 topics we're going to go through. The first one we're going to kick off with is going to be the way that we have a bit of sporting culture in Australia and kids leaving our club for soccer. The second one we're going to touch on is we're in March and what we've kind of got planning, or what we've got what we've got cooking for April and the holidays that are kind of around the corner. Is there anything else that we're going to touch on? And our own training. We are going to touch on our own training. It's written there somewhere. So kids taking a break from martial arts class for soccer.
It's a punish, but it's not unsolvable. That's what it is. It's a punish. You can totally fix it. Just keeping in mind some little things that you're going to have to do, little compromises here and there, but definitely, like, I think you had a family at your place in Cronulla.
The girls, we can't say the name, but it's in girl, starts with M.
Yeah, so in that particular instance, the kids did pause training, which in my experience, more often than not, a 1 month or a 2 month pause often ends in a forever pause. But if you manage it, in that particular instance, it was managed in such a way that at the end of that period, they came back, and that's probably down to communication, keeping them involved in texts that are going out to the club and just keeping them in the loop in what's going on in the club, and then getting back to them or letting them know that time period's up when it is up, and touching base in between. I presume. I think it was mainly Sir that was that managed the situation. Hence why it went well.
Are you in shot yet? I think you've got to lean in a bit. Not too much for that guy. Yeah, we did do that. So this particular family, they have had a long relationship with our club. They are great people. I'll be honest, they're the kind of family that I would be happy to have in our environment essentially forever. So really the kind of family we don't want to leave. And I think the martial arts experience for them has also been very, very valuable and very positive for all members of the family.
Well, they've turned out to be long-term students, just even given those every now and then the soccer season comes around, they drop off a little bit, but the fact that the communication was maintained that entire time.
Yes.
They've been there for ages. Like, you've seen the kids go up through different age groups.
Yeah, and the effort and time put in prior to that event happening.
Yes, having that rapport with the student. So what was the process that we did? So you had a process. I'll describe kind of what you could almost document as your own process. We know soccer's going to happen. We know that around this time, about March, they're going to think about taking some time off. One option is, if you know they're taking that time off, is to simply let them know, I understand, or even proactively say, are you taking time off for soccer? Once they say yes, you can say, listen, be honest, be really honest. If they're not your favourite family, don't say that you are my favourite family, first of all, but with these guys I can literally say, we love having you in the club. are you cool if I keep you on? I'm not going to cancel your membership. I'm going to delete some months, and I'm going to keep you on all the communication. And then I'm going to send you a personal message at the end of soccer, which I think for you guys is September. Just get a confirmation. I'll say, oh, our season's going to finish in September, and my team's not that good. We're not going to be in the grand final. Okay, great. Tell them when you're going to send them that message. I will send you a message on the 20th of September at 10 a.m. inviting you to come back to training that Saturday. And if they take that break, then they get that message, and that's a really good option there. You had another option that you were using, that you were talking about, where there were people on breaks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm quite lucky. My clubs, they sort of resemble, more similar to like the hobbyist in terms of the timetable wise, where they're not the full-time location, just 2 days a week. I've got the two classes a week. Whereas your club, you've got essentially the full-time schedule. 5 days a week.
Sometimes 6. Sometimes 7.
Invite only for the 7th day.
Yeah.
Invite only for the 7th day. But so let's say I've got one of my guys, a little boy named Seb. He's a mat rat. He does all sorts of sports outside of school. Yeah. There's no slowing this kid down pretty much. If he can't come to my club on a Thursday because he's got soccer training, I still want that kid to be doing his 2, 3, 4 classes a week, however many times he wants to train.
Yeah.
I'm quite lucky in that I get to say, right, Seb, you can't come to my class on Thursday because you got soccer training that day. I get it. No worries. So here is a class on Wednesday, Arvo. And go over there, train there, and it's totally fine. He still ends up getting his normal training. And so one thing we're kind of always looking for, especially like I'm always trying to have that sort of solution of, I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to stop training. I want you to at least tick that box of just getting on the mats at least that one time a week.
Yeah.
And if it means that they're not necessarily training with me, but they're training with another instructor that I know and I'm like really fond with, then perfect solution.
Yeah. We've done that really well between the 3 locations that we're kind of all involved in. You're kind of involved in both locations, like ours and down the road. But it means that we've had guys like Seb in this instance, but there's heaps of others that all of a sudden their scheduling's changed. Often my club's bigger, so it has a bigger schedule, so we can almost satisfy those structural changes. Having that flexibility within our club is really valuable, but there are days where we physically are incapable of solving that person's problem. And I think we've got a Sunday, you run a Sunday class?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had guys come from ours to yours just for that Sunday, and then come back to ours at the end of different periods. And
yeah, switching out their Saturday for Sunday, and vice versa as well, depending on what they're training.
Yeah, and I think that's contributed hugely to some of that long-term retention.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing too is, and this one I would only sort of suggest doing really rare occasions. Like you'd have to either really like that family, or they'd have to have like committed to you in such a way that you're like, okay, can do. Is if you want to offer the choice of doing a weekly private class. If you cannot 100%. Get that solution,
100%.
You know, the business side is, yeah, you're getting now paid for a private session. That's obviously that's good. The more personal side to that student though is you're sacrificing an hour of your time that you would have spent on your weekend to go train with that student, that one student. That's because you have that care for them. But you can't offer that to everyone.
You can't do that for everyone, but you are 100% right. You've got again, you've got those 2 guys on you got 2 or 3, but there's that young kid that does it in the morning at 7 a.m. before school.
Yeah, usually around 7 or 8.
Yes. Yeah, so he's essentially, when his scheduling has come out of whack, he's had that class to fall back on, and he comes back straight into normal classes again.
And they're a busy family, so they often will miss like 1, 2, 3 weeks at a time of attending those group classes, even at a club that runs classes 5 days a week, but because they're scheduling, busy parents, kids at daycare, etc., they miss group classes for 3 weeks in a row. But that one session that you have locked in with them once a week is they're getting there like 90% of the time. So in terms of martial arts technical improvement, they're still ticking that box every week. So when they come back to the group class in 3 weeks' time, they're not completely out of place.
Yeah. So I think that covers it off. So soccer's coming. 2 or 3 methods there. Method number 1 is place someone on hold if you need to, or pause their fees or their membership, but don't cancel it. Just make sure they know exactly when they're coming back and you've got a really good communication. Number 2 is have a way of scheduling where you have some flexibility. Where someone pauses, they can flex to another day of the week. And if you're really lucky and you've got great clubs around you, you can share that load if you are lucky. A lot of clubs do not have that luxury. No. Most people,
it'd almost be like sharing between your competitors.
Yeah. Most
giving
people,
your competitor free member, like you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, we're lucky about that, but other people are probably not so lucky. Next thing is today is the 28th of February, so it's the last day of Feb. We're about to start March.
Yeah.
What should we be planning on now?
Well, the thing you know about March is the month that after that comes April. In April, we got our holiday stuff. So for April, where we are, usually around mid-April is when the school holidays start for most of our kids. And stuff in the school holidays for our clubs is often different. So regular classes might change, additional training might be added, and so on. And preparing that stuff in the month of April often doesn't lead to many successes.
Do not do it in April.
Yeah,
do not prepare April in April.
So prepare in April and March. So the stuff that for me that we should be considering is all our school holiday timetabling for next month. It's time to start that now.
Yeah. And there's a lot of martial arts clubs out there that have something similar to like a leadership program where they're kind of just developing teenagers in schools. Like I've seen it at other schools like in Canberra, and like they've got their own.
It's a standard thing. Gymnastics does the same, and soccer.
You really sort of want to, especially because a lot of them are in school holidays. Like your crew that's going to be helping you out. You want to know, number one, they're going away on holidays. Yeah. If you've got this intention that they're going to be there for you in the holidays, you don't know that. You got to make sure your crew's there for your holidays. You got to make sure you've got your, as you said, the timetabling set up, and you want to know those now. Like on the 28th of Feb, plan for April on the 28th of Feb as it bleeds into March.
100%.
That's when you want it.
We should have when we look at those. So we're talking about kids camps here. So a 9 to 3, or some clubs do a 9 to 12, a half-day kids camp. We obviously all do kids camps in all of our environments. The first group of people that I inquire and invite, and I start to that now, is that leadership crew, those guys that are in high school. There may be one-day instructors, there may be not, or there may be highly involved martial artists that don't have any instructor capability. Be honest about that. But we just invite them to be part of that crew to those kids' days. And how we manage that's really specific. The way that we manage their involvement on the day, so it's valuable to them and fair. That's really critical. They should hear about it and then want to be there, not be dragged into it. It should be like a positive. But my first group that I'm speaking to are the 3 or 4 leadership people, and then I do this, and I think that the both of you do. I don't send out. I make really specific invitations to the most critical students that are going to be attending. The guy that's going to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that, just potentially looking at grading maybe coming up. They only have a couple of signatures to go. We've got that team's crew locked in, and we know that they're going to be looking at some stuff at some point during the day, and we know that they're almost definitely going to have the opportunity to have some one-on-one technical improvement. If they've been away for a couple of weeks prior and they've missed that, it's a perfect opportunity. So looking out for that crew to invite first. Those guys are going to get the most out of the session.
Yeah.
If you're sending out those text messages right then and there, you want that guy that's like, he's on that uphill battle. Yeah. Get that kid in. Yeah. And then there's the other guy that you know they're going to say yes. You know they're always going to be there.
Because they love it.
They love it. They love it so much. You get those people in and you want to try and then that way when you do the public invite,
there's a couple of people already in the game, so it
people already come to the
So
party.
two purposes. You're by sending a personalised invitation to anything to a student, you're showing that you care. So that's it's that, and then also when you go to invite the rest of the crew, you're not inviting them to a party with 3 other, with 1, 2 people coming. You got a bit of a crew.
Bit of a crew
to kick off. Yeah.
So we should we've scheduled the days, so the training days or the holiday training days, pretty much for the whole year. And there's a very important reason we do it a whole year in advance. And there's some reasons around regularity that become really important. But for the April holidays, which will be the Easter holidays, we've now started those invitations. We've kind of know what we're going to be doing in those periods. We know how close it is to gradings and FAR. And we've kind of got a side curriculum or a focus area that we'll be working on in that period. So that's what you should be doing now around that. You should have it, and you should have it documented as well. If you don't have a piece of paper with your plan of what you're going to do that day, in the least, and it should be documented probably on your website or your newsletter, or so there's that really pedantic parent that can see everything in the future.
Yeah, they're writing it all down in their diary and all. Yeah, everything goes on that calendar.
So I should be as organised as that person.
Yeah.
Other thing that's happened is training. So I think training in January is bizarre. Like, it's just off the back of Christmas. People have eaten too much, drank too much. They're not as flexible. Whatever's happened, training in January is a little bit different. I start our club's training in February, but February for me personally is as busy as anything. Like, there's ratifying everything that you've decided to do for the whole year. So we're in 2023. In February, we had our diary created, but just re-documenting it all and spreading it around. February gets busy, and there's a lot of people joining.
Oh, it's the big kickoff. It's the catalyst part of the year. The whole new year, new me thing.
Yep.
The parents go, right, I'm going to get my kids in the sport now. The adults doing I said I was going to get myself into fitness.
Yep.
Like, we can't just focus entirely on the kids as well, like the adults too. So you're going to get those ones all coming in, and it makes it a bit of a mess. Like, you're just trying to get it all in together. Like, and then as you said, trying to get your diary together.
Yes.
And you got to try and organise like myself and him. Like, good luck with that one.
So Feb's crazy. I think as an instructor though, I don't write off January and February, but I accept that my personal training is going to fall over. Where everyone else is like, they've finished their holidays, they're getting into their first proper sessions. I expect that to happen in March, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But now I can start doing my regular runs and my regular fitness and my regular training, because...
Whereas in Jan and Feb, you just, I've got a free hour, I'll go quickly do something. Or, I'm at the dojo in 20 minutes, so I'll quickly do something.
I'll do one weight set,
but a couple of chin-ups, something. But there's no regular training or scheduled training or plan or anything like that.
No,
getting into what you can, getting in what you can.
You're literally sitting on the edge of the seat the whole time, just on for the ride. Just see how we go. Like, maybe you get those couple of days in Jan where you can be like, right, it's actually in that really good Christmassy holiday season.
Yes.
Sneak a couple in there, like a good you had the whole day to yourself. Go ahead, do what you wanted. But February, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. No.
So for me, Mark, so the takeaway from that for me, for my own personal training, is I kind of accept that I shouldn't be trying to achieve too much during the months of essentially December, January, February. And I really focus my training as an instructor, as a martial arts instructor. It's now time that it kicks off in March. And that's kind of a more realistic attempt to train at serious training if you're the head coach of a place, in my opinion. The other thing is the training of our students. Like I said, December is a bit strange. and January is also a little bit strange. February training starts, and we often see that's when we've got our new courses coming up. Like we did the nunchucks course, that's kind of kicked off in Feb. We had the sparring sort of focus has kicked off, the new sparring focus kicked off for us in February. We talked about it last year in January. Now we're starting March. Tomorrow is March. I don't think I should have any surprises or changes. March, by now, everything should be set and we should be looking to achieve flow. Flow should happen in April, but March, there's no new stuff. Everything new is already started in Feb. March should be all the courses are running.
Yeah.
If you're starting new stuff now, I think you're making a mistake.
Yeah. Your full complete timetable should pretty much just be in effect no matter what by now.
Yeah.
You know, everyone else's year started. Like the kids were ready to start their year by February.
Yes.
The parents, you know, they were dying for their kids to hurry up and get out of there, so they're dying to bring their kids in. They want to bring their kids in. And, you know, the adults are just adults. Adults never have free time.
Well, yeah, and my training planning, or the training planning for our kickboxing group and our other physical groups, that should be in flow now. Like if you're still thinking, what am I going to do this year? Then I think you've made a big mistake in your scheduling and your planning. Right now, it should all be happening, and you should just be busy getting things done from about this month on.
Yeah.
Anything else to add for March, gentlemen?
I think that's it for me. That's all I got. March was.
Yeah, there's really not. It's just March is like the beginning of your just getting in, or you're in it.
It's your January. It's your.
Yeah, it's like January for everyone else.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Everything else you already planned should be, like, as I said, should be already be set in stone.
Yeah.
You should actually be sitting there going, life is normal now. Life is back to normal now.
Life is back to normal when March kicks off, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, that's our first ever maiden voyage of Kinetic Chats. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for
Thanks for having us, sir.
Can't wait for next month.
Next month.
All our plans in March did really help us out in April. It all comes apart.
April should be the same as March, just better.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. That's us from Kinetic Chats, and see you on the mats.
Bye.